We are going to be talking more about the rental part and also the university fee actually.
There are different types of accommodation. Some are a bit expensive as in I would say like 300 euros per month, and then there are those which are around 220 per month. So yeah, if you come to Germany and you're coming to Stuttgart, you will be given a room from the university, which will be very easy and fast process.
An interesting atmosphere, and
Oh,
I really enjoyed it.
You were in the middle of two days,
Yeah.
which was pretty much more expensive as compared to the.
Harder to find as well.
Is it?
It is.
Why?
It's it is as difficult as finding a job, I would say.
Hello, welcome to MR podcast. Today with me is
Emma podcast.
MR.
That's how you greet.
That's how I greet followers.
And also traveling around wherever I go, I just take pictures of the places where I go.
गेन के 5 cities गए हैं पिक्चर्स ये वो अच्छा तो यार बहुत ट्रैवल करती है. Hello, welcome to MR podcast, and today podcast is all about Stuttgart. We're going to be discussing about expenses the student have to bear when they come here in Stuttgart city, or we're going to be talking more about the rental part and also the university fee actually, which is a little more in Stuttgart. In 2016 there was no fees in Stuttgart, but now the university require you to pay some fees, which is 1500 euros per semester. So including this and keeping this in mind, we're going to be discussing about rent, food and all other things, starting with Nigar. She's from Azerbaijan. Sorry if you haven't if you haven't watched my previous podcast, she was there. So Nigar, how much did you pay as a student when you lived here? What was your monthly expenses?
My monthly expenses was around 500 euros, I would say.
500.
Yeah. In
And
the first year.
if you divide it between like
In the first year, as I got accommodation from the university, which was not that expensive, I'd say. Yeah. So I was able to manage with 500 euros in a month.
you
More or less the same. So there are different types of accommodation. Some are a bit expensive as in I would say like 300 euros per month, and then there are those which are around 220 per month, so a bit cheaper than that. So it depends. Yeah, in my case also around 5 to 600, I would say.
How did you get a student hostel in Stuttgart?
It's pretty easy. If you get admission, then you can apply for this accommodation that is from the university, and then that is for sure they will give you for a year. If you are lucky enough, they might give you for 2 to 3 years depending on your education period. But when I came, I just got for 1 year, so I had to move out and look for a private accommodation for myself.
So you can apply for a student hostel even when you are in Pakistan.
Exactly, that's what I did.
This is actually pretty cool because in Munich you can't do that, in Berlin you can't do that, and a lot of people, because there are a lot of students in Berlin, a lot of students in Munich as well, and I had the same perception that maybe in Stuttgart you will face difficulty when you come here as a student. But this is actually really nice to know that.
That was really easy.
Yeah, this is really nice to know that you will be able to find a student dorm when you get an admission in Stuttgart University, which this is really cool actually. Okay, and how much did you pay for the student hostel?
I was paying 285 euros per month.
Which is like really cheap when you're living in Stuttgart, like really.
Accommodation in Stuttgart is quite expensive, and it's very hard to find a nice place. So yeah, if you come to Germany and you're coming to Stuttgart, you will be given a room from the university, which will be very easy and fast process.
Cool. And it was the same case with you as well.
I was sharing my apartment with more internationals, I would say. So I was paying less than Mariam, around 220 euros.
220.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's living for free, like almost. Like 220 is literally Nebenkosten. Nebenkosten is like extra charges when you're living in private dorms.
And then we found an apartment which was for 3 people, and we shared among 3 girls. I was living with Nigar and one Indian girl, and that was a bit expensive, but since we were sharing 3 people, like we were sharing one kitchen and a toilet, so we paid around 370 each person. Yeah.
But this is more of a private apartment, I would say.
It was just for three of us.
Cool. So now you're living in the same apartment.
No, we moved again. I'm living again in a student dorm because I'm working in the university. So I got a room there, just for a limited time. By the end of the year, I will be moving out. And then after that, I moved again. I got a private accommodation, like a private apartment. Let's say 1.5 room apartment. It was.
So now you're living alone.
Yes, and that was around 500 euros. So depends what kind of area you choose for yourself.
Okay. So Nigar, tell me a secret. Why you move away from Mariam?
1 year only. That's why.
The contract ended.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were some changes after the introduction of tuition fees, and the university started to accepting our applications back after 1 year of living in Begge. So yeah, we started getting again accommodations from the university.
How was your experience living with Mariam?
Oh, it was very nice. I was sharing.
What
my
were you sharing?
Apartment. I was sharing apartment with Mariam and with one more Indian friend. An interesting atmosphere, and I really enjoyed it.
You were in the middle of two days.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You wake up.
I can't.
You have Pakistani friend on the other side, Indian friend. That was interesting experience.
Did they fight with each other like whenever there's a cricket match or something? No.
We can talk about later.
Deep stories. We can't discuss on camera.
No, it's not that serious. No, it's not serious at all.
You get the student dorm, and then you move out to the private dorm, which was pretty much more expensive as compared to the.
Harder to find as well.
Is it?
It is.
Why?
It's it is as difficult as finding a job, I would say. It's like you have to speak in German for that most of the time, because most of the time there are older people who are giving away their apartments, or I don't know, their rooms, whatever. So you need to speak quite decent German in order to communicate with them, and they also prefer, if you're gonna live in their apartment, or I don't know, if they're giving away a room or an apartment, that in the future when there is a problem or something, that you are able to communicate with each other, because they kind of don't speak English, or maybe they don't like.
I mean, yeah, like with old people, it's always the issue that they are not comfortable speaking in English, and if you can't speak English, they would hesitate a bit to give you their apartment. It's still like this old mentality, and a lot of the houses are owned by the old people here.
Especially in Stuttgart, I feel like. Yeah,
I think
don't know
everywhere.
Really? Okay.
Because they work all their life and then they made the apartment. Kids like us, we have like, okay, let's go to the vacation and we spend all the money.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're gonna buy a house anywhere soon.
No, not me at least.
Yeah, so old people, way to go. But give us the apartment, please. We're nice people if you're listening. Again, as a reminder, what we discussed before, keep in mind you have to pay 1,500 euros if you come to Stuttgart. So instead of paying 500 a month, let's make it, I think, 800 a month if you're paying your fees as well, I think.
Yeah.
Even more,
Yeah, I think so.
800 to 1,000.
Which is quite a money, man. So do think before moving to Stuttgart. But the advantages would be, we'll discuss it in the next podcast, that why you should move to Stuttgart. It's a nice city, plus there are a lot of job opportunities as well. Stay tuned. Bye bye. Signing out from MR Podcast.
Bye bye.
Bye.
So fun.